No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done. No matter how you move, get it done.
Okay, people, so it seems as though with Boruto Chapter 60, we are entering the final battle. Now, we got a preview teaser for the upcoming chapter of Boruto this month, July's chapter, and I am gonna lie, this little preview right here has me excited. It has me excited for a multitude of reasons, but mainly because it seems as though potentially we could be entering the beginning of the end prior to the time skip, because just because it says final battle, that doesn't by no means mean the end of the story, because yeah, we still got to get to that time skip. We ain't gonna feel like it's completely headed towards like, oh, it's the end until we're in the time skip and until that Boruto versus Kawaki as adult fight actually starts to go down. Then I'm gonna be like, well, that could be the end unless Boruto explodes around that time and they're like, no, we're gonna keep it going. Like, that's going to be the end. And right now we're still in the manga pre-time skip, even though at the end of last year, one of the creators of Boruto, Ikamoto, said we're getting closer to that point of when they're adults. I can't say where we're at right now, but it's about to happen eventually soon. And it seems as though we may be getting closer and closer. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of 2021, early 2022, we actually commence the time skip, especially based on this preview. So we're going to read the preview and we're going to talk a little bit because yeah, we might actually be entering that climax. Okay, and this is courtesy of Abdul Zoldak on Twitter. Shout outs to him. And it says, Boruto Chapter 60 text preview via Weekly Shonen Jump. Top text: an even greater enemy is looming over Boruto and the rest as they strive for justice. The text above: Kawaki preparing for the incoming attack by the remnants of Kara. Middle text: Boruto and Kawaki training, which we've seen that already in the last chapter, chapter 59. On the right, Damon's text: a new cyborg, Damon, has awakened. The left, Damon text: the time for the final battle is coming. So at very least, okay, one of the big things, because a lot of that is like for the most part regurgitated information. We know, okay, there's the new, cyborg that was awakened, Damon. We know that Boruto and Kawaki are training. These are things that have already been established. The biggest thing to take away from this preview is that the final battle is coming, which means that we're entering toward the beginning of the end. But again, I want to say the beginning of the end prior to the time skip. I want to say that there's going to be probably one big final fight, which I'm curious how all this is going to go down, right? Because I've said it before and I'll say it again. I definitely feel like something changed at the end of last year after the author switch. Like when they took out Ukyo Kodachi, the person that was writing the Boruto manga for like 50 plus chapters, and replaced him with the original creator, Masashi Kishimoto, despite the fact that they still haven't credited him on the chapters as being the scriptwriter, which is mind-blowing a little bit. Like, whoa, wouldn't you want to promote that more? Like, aside from an initial press release that was kind of not even official in a way, like, what the hell? But the way that things were set up and built up at that particular point, it felt like with the defeat and death of Ishiki Otsutsuki, things was going to go like, towards the time skip. We were going to enter it, something was going to happen there. After that, with, again, the replacing of Ukyo Kodachi and Kishimoto coming on board, it seems like it's set up for another arc that didn't feel like it was initially planned to happen right at that particular point. And again, I want to credit that to Masashi Kishimoto. Probably he didn't have every single idea that Ukyo Kodachi had set forth and what he was planning, because you got to remember, if you're at the helm of this, right, if you're creating this and you're thinking of the story and the structure and everything, you have it all laid out at the very least in your mind of like, okay, this should happen, this should happen, this is where I'm trying to take it. So either he didn't relay all the information, or Kishimoto was like, that's kind of cool and all, but Boruto, it needs to pop right now, so we're gonna switch things up. And maybe this is all, again, after Kishimoto came on board, he was like, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do another arc, and this time we're gonna make Code the big baddie of it all. We're gonna do things this way. Because just being honest, we still don't know to this day what has been contributed from Masashi Kishimoto since the inception of all this. Because remember, Kishimoto was, at the very least on paper, on board since the very beginning of Boruto, right? He was supposed to be like overseeing it all. For all we know, Code was an idea from Kishimoto early on. He just said, hey, how about a character named Code? And he's like gonna end up being one of the big villains later on down the road from Kara. But again, we don't know that. And as it stands right now, it looks like just the narrative has switched a lot, where it made that somebody like Code, that was kind of not even in the spotlight for a majority of the arc, to now become, the kind of leader of it all. And I'm really curious to see how all this is going to go down with a final battle, because, and with characters that have just been introduced, like mainly a lot of the newer cyborgs, Damon and Ada, it seems like they're very, very, I don't want to say overpowered, but they're extremely powerful, and in particular, their abilities, especially, like that whole reflecting thing, essentially, of what's going on with, Damon's power, they're very, very hacked. So it's going to be a very interesting thing to see of like, okay, wait a minute. So this dude is overpowered. Ada is clearly overpowered with her ability to see everything at all times. Like, she's the ultimate spy. You don't need to send anybody in on some spy mission because, hey, she could see if you're taking a dump. She could see if you're in bed with Hinata. Naruto, you can't escape. Sasuke, you can't escape. Oh my god, I just thought it right now. Imagine if Sakura had that power of clairvoyance that Ada had. Boy, Sasuke would never get away from her. So I'm honestly at this point not sure how the hell they're going to be able to combat any of this. The best bet, and it seems as though this has been what they've been relying on moving forward with Boruto to allow characters like Kawaki and Boruto and just in general the next generation to be able to fight against more powerful opponents, is the karma. There's going to have to be either some transformation, some new abilities, something there they're going to dive further into or fall further into the pits of karma, because I could see Boroshiki being a big asset of being able to take these guys down. The thing is that Boroshiki is, you know, a time bomb. Like, yeah, he might attack and destroy Damon and Ada, and then he's going to turn around and, you know, slice Kawaki's neck and shit. So you don't really want to rely on something like that to begin with, but then ultimately, you know, what do? And that also makes me think, again, this is all final battle talk, right? We're headed towards the final battle. If Kawaki was to get, because remember, when we left off with 59, one of the big things was that it was the decision that he had to make based on what Amado put forth in front of him of, do I want to get another karma mark on me? And if he was to get another karma mark on him, which obviously, more than likely, that's going to be how he gets the karma mark again, right? Unless it's been dormant in him all along and it's eventually going to pop out anyway. Does that mean that Ishiki is still not done? A part of me feels like, even though it was a pretty great wrap up and it was symbolic of Kawaki crushing him to dust and everything, part of me still feels like he's not completely gone. And a part of me feels like if Boruto is going through it with Momoshiki trying to come back, eventually, some form or another, Kawaki's going to go through the same thing and possibly even worse. Who knows? Maybe there's some sort of deal that's going to be set up down the road after this final battle, quote unquote, where Ishiki is inside of Kawaki's body and he's like, yo, I'll give you the keys to be able to protect the Nandame Hokage for the rest of your life, but in exchange, I want your body, and I'll make a promise, I don't know, I won't hurt Konoha, something along the lines of that, and it'll kind of, again, mirror, because I'm not sure if they're still going with that formula, again, with Kishimoto taking over, of essentially somewhat being a mirror to Naruto Part 1 with Boruto, but if it is going down that road, then that could ultimately be how Kawaki leads into being essentially an antagonist towards the end of the series, assuming that the series isn't gonna do a big 180 and Boruto's the villain antagonist of the story, which I'm hoping so. That would be the hugest thing in the world. But yeah, people, Boruto is entering the quote-unquote final battle. Very curious what you guys think about all of this stuff. For starters, do you feel like with Damon's ability, like, it's too overpowered? Again, it feels like the way JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and I've been comparing Boruto to JoJo's a lot, but I guess it's because it's like a continuation, sequel, spin-off, but with, like, you know, in the same universe. How do you think they're going to be able to combat it? Again, considering Naruto, you know, he's way weaker now. Likewise with Sasuke, do you think they're going to be able to be of much use, or they're going to have to rely again on Boruto with karma and Kawaki obtaining a new karma? Do you think that's going to be how Kawaki gets his karma again, allowing Amado to put that on him, or is going to be a whole different method? Still in the dark on how the hell Amado knows how to create a new karma on Kawaki to begin with. And how do you think Ada is going to equate into all of this, using her abilities to again trap them and snare them? And this final battle, do you think that potentially within the next few months we're going to be finishing up this part of Boruto and entering the time skip? I'm waiting. I'm hoping we're not at the next Jump Festa in December and Ikamoto's like, yeah, don't worry guys, we're almost there. Like, I could imagine maybe in November them actually entering the time skip, and then Ikamoto in December and Jump Festa saying, yeah guys, you know, I did say it was gonna happen soon. It took a little bit longer than I expected. Laughs. But that's usually how, like, one of their interviews be, is like the author says something and then they just put in quotations, laughs. And your overall thoughts and expectations for Boruto chapter 60 and beyond. The final battle is coming, and that's good to know that at the very least things is moving. And even though it feels like this is an addendum to what kind of felt completed prior to a time skip with the defeat of Ishiki Otsutsuki, this will probably be the finale, and then we'll move forward into a time skip that I really want to see. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, hit that bell to get all notifications. And if you want to follow any of my other social media, links are in the description below. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life. Bye. Have an awesome day. Peace in. And yo, I'm looking forward to actually seeing how the hell they're going to be able to overcome somebody like Damon and his ability. Of course, Code, if his limits especially are broken, surpassing his limits. And yeah, Kawaki obtaining a new karma. Will that bring forth Ishiki's return? So many questions, but the final bout is seemingly coming prior to the time skip. Have an awesome one.